The S&P Global has upgraded its rating of Louisiana's general obligation bonds from AA- to AA. And it signals Louisiana state government is making many of the right decisions on state spending, debt, and state retirement. Now, you just heard we're going to be having a bond sale April 9th, approximately $380 million. What's important about this upgrade is it lowers the cost, it lowers the interest cost to the state when it borrows money through bonds. And of course, I met with the three rating agencies that just issued ratings. Only one, of course, S&P, actually upgraded us. And here's some comments that we heard from them. It certainly marks a combination of fiscal restraint, Louisiana Constitution's array of controls on spending, voter support for prioritizing debt service over the years, from 5% to 10% to now 25%, and a commitment by Governor Landry's administration in reducing spending in the coming years. You know, the governor put out word to all agencies to look for savings. The report recognizes that Louisiana's economy is not where we want it to be yet. And it is paradoxical that we're losing population and losing jobs. Our economy has not done well recently, but at the same time, we've actually improved ourselves fiscally by balancing our fiscal structure. What does that mean? It means that our spending equals our income or better, something that has not always been true, and that's reflective of prudent handling of spending and debt, allowing the state to operate prudently in a conservative business-like fashion. At the State Bond Commission, here are the following quotes that I'd like to provide to you relative to S&P and their report. The upgrades reflect our view of Louisiana's demonstrated commitment to improving and maintaining reserves above levels that we consider very strong, and the state's ongoing efforts to reduce unfunded pension liabilities through strong pension fund discipline. The AA GO rating reflects our view of Louisiana's active budget monitoring, coupled with an ability and demonstrated willingness to modify expenditures to maintain structural balance, that term again, during periods of revenue decline. What is that referring to? As you know, we have an undulating source of revenue. Certainly, there have been periods like when oil and gas prices go down, that our income goes down. Coincident with that. More recently, we've had an increase in revenue from the federal government relative to COVID, and that's going away, as we all know. We also have, of course, the expiration of the 0.45 sales tax, and so we have issues relative to revenue, but at the same time, the bond rating agencies make it clear that it doesn't matter whether you cut taxes or raise taxes. What matters is whether or not you don't spend any more than what you take in. Louisiana recorded its 7th consecutive positive state general fund with the result of a $325.4 million surplus. Again, quoting S&P, to address the decline in revenue collections, all state departments have been directed to identify cost savings and include them in their budget requests. The executive budget proposal for fiscal 2025 incorporates $230 million of expenditure reductions. The Constitution requires Louisiana to adopt a balanced budget. If revenues fall short of projections, the governor is empowered to directly cut expenditures to maintain a balanced budget. Should the governor fail to make necessary adjustments within 30 days, the Constitution and statutes require the governor to call a special session of the legislature to address the deficit. Again, these are all viewed positively by S&P. S&P, let's see, again, quoting S&P, we consider Louisiana's financial management practices good under our financial management assessment methodology. S&P Global gives Louisiana a perfect 1.0 rating for its financial management framework. We believe Louisiana is currently well positioned to maintain a structural balance despite reduced tax rates. Louisiana's tax-supported debt ratios are moderate by most measures. Louisiana's debt service burden as a percent of expenditures is also moderate. So S&P Global's rating is a blessing for the state, which will result in lowering the cost of bond issues, such as what we're going to see on April 9th. More importantly, this rating upgrade is a step forward in presenting Louisiana as a state with a solid financial structure and a good place to do business. I want to commend our governors and legislators, past and present, as well as the people of the state who have made important reforms on debt service, for all they have done to improve Louisiana's financial standing. It is important that S&P has brought these improvements to the world's attention. S&P Global advertises itself as the world's foremost provider of ratings, benchmarks, and analytics in the global capital and commodity markets. So we thank S&P Global for their upgrading of us in our state. They recognize that we're serious about balancing our budget by making sure that our trust funds are well financed, that we're paying down our debt among our statewide pensions, and that we intend to control spending. So I think that's a challenge to all of us here, the legislators, as well as the governor, to restrain spending, make sure we continue to spend no more than what we take in, and in doing so, that we streamline government in our state, putting out a open for business sign so that we will begin to recapture population once again, as well as major corporations, good jobs, and that will in itself enhance our revenue going forward. So anyway, thank you. If there's any media here, I'll be happy to answer questions outside, and I would ask that other members of the Bond Commission join me in that if you have any further comments to the media or whatever. Otherwise, we're going to adjourn today because the Senate has to have this room, so we have to just take this. So if there's any other business to come before the commission, please speak up. Hearing none, we are adjourned. All right.